Good evening. Today is April the 10th, 2023. This is the South River Mayor and Borough Council meeting number 7. This roll call, please. Well, first, let's have the statement of notice of publication.
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law of 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, or remotely via Zoom has been published in the Home News Tribune on January 6, 2023, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, the Borough website, and the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Roll call.
Mayor Krenzel?
Here.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Here.
Councilman Gindi?
Here.
Councilman Kurczynski?
Here.
Councilwoman Mira?
Here.
Councilman Oliveira?
Absent.
Council President Siula.
Here.
Would you please stand for the salute to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. We have one proclamation. That is that it is National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require police, fire, or emergency medical services, and whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians are critical to the protection of life and preservation of property, and whereas the safety of our police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians are dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the South River Police Department's Emergency Communications Center, and whereas the public safety telecommunicators are the first and most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services, and whereas public safety telecommunicators are the single vital link for our police officers and firefighters by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them information, and ensuring their safety, and whereas public safety telecommunicators of the South River Police Department have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, and whereas each dispatcher has exhibited compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job in the past year, now therefore I, Mayor John M. Krenzel, along with the members of the Council of the Borough of South River, do hereby proclaim April 9th through April 15th, 2023 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week in South River, in honor of the men and women whose diligence and professionalism keep our community and citizens safe. So, bravo to those workers that when you call 911, they are there 24/7 to answer the call and then to dispatch whatever services are needed. So we thank them for a job that is truly overlooked. We have executive session because we may be going into be voting on certain items that will be in our executive session discussion. So I'm going to ask that the clerk please read the resolution. 2023-141, whereas Section 8 of Chapter 231, Public Law of 1975, permits the exclusion of the general public from a meeting of the governing body under certain circumstances, and whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of South River are of the option such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it and is hereby resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of South River and the County of Middlesex of the State of New Jersey that the public be excluded upon the hereinafter specific subject matter, and that such subject matter to be so discussed is as follows: contract negotiations and litigation. Be it further resolved that such record of the above discussion will be made public when confidentiality is no longer required.
Second that.
Motion has been made by Mr. Kurczynski, seconded by Mr. Gindi. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Kurczynski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Council President Siula.
Yes.
Okay, we shall return. Okay. Motion to go into open.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Siula, seconded by Mr. Gindi. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. We have reconvened to public session. There's nothing on the agenda session. Therefore, we will go into our ordinances. Second reading, public hearing. First concerns the tree removal, 2023-15. Madam Clerk?
2023-15, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 350 entitled Zoning.
Make a motion to waive the full reading.
Motion has been made by Mr. Seula to waive the full reading, seconded by Mr. Gindi. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public, you may come forward. Please give your name and address, and you can ask any questions or make any comments concerning this ordinance on first call, second call, third call.
Motion to
close.
Motion to close by Mrs. Ballas, seconded by Mr. Gindi. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
Ordinance has been moved by Mr. Gindi,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Seula. Discussion. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas? Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Krasinski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
yes,
Council President Seula?
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. Ordinance 2023-16.
2023-16, bond ordinance providing for various sewer system improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment, appropriating $1,075,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $236,500 bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of South River and the County of Middlesex, New Jersey.
Make a motion to waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made to waive the full reading by Mr. Seula, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public, you may come forward. Please give your name and address. You can ask any questions or make any comments concerning this ordinance on first call, second call, third call.
Motion close.
Motion has been made to close by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Gurchinski. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
The ordinance has been moved by Mr. Gindi,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Seula. Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas? Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Krasinski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
yes,
Council President Seula?
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. Ordinance 2023-17 concerning handicap parking. Madam Clerk?
2023-17, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 193 entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
Make a motion to waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made to waive the full reading by Mr. Seula, seconded by Mr. Gindi. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public, you may come forward. Please give your name and address and ask any questions or make any comments concerning this ordinance on first call, second call, third call.
Motion close.
Motion has been made to close by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
The ordinance has been moved by Mr. Gindi,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Seula. Discussion? Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas? Councilman Gindi? Councilman Krasinski? Councilwoman Mira?
yes,
Council President Seula?
Yes.
The ordinance has been adopted. Ordinance 2023-18 concerning the referendum.
2023-18, an ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, authorizing a non-binding referendum to consider whether the borough should issue retail licenses to businesses for the retail sale of cannabis items for adult recreational use within the Borough of South River.
Make a motion to waive the full reading.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made by Mr. Shulith to waive the full reading, seconded by Mr. Gindi. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Opening this up to the public, you may come forward. Please give your name and address. You may ask any questions or make any comments. Hello, stranger.
Hello, Mayor. Jim Jones, Cam Avenue. Mayor, council members, I'm here to oppose 2023-18. You all have already enacted an ordinance in this town already for a grow cannabis down on Water Street, and I don't see where this would fit into the town. There's no open spaces around here. They couldn't buy the bank next to the police department. That would be a good show to have come in and buy your marijuana right next to the police station. That wouldn't be a fit. And I really don't think that there's any place in South River that could accommodate such a place. I seen it was read in the paper where Councilman Oliveri thought that maybe he could do it up on the Old Bridge Turnpike at the little strip mall, but there again, there's no really parking there. And if it is, it's all the way in the back of the establishments there anyway, with very limited parking up there to begin with. I would ask you to really consider this, either pull the ordinance or to vote it down, because we in South River do not need what would possibly be brought into this town. The chief doesn't have enough police to adequately now to watch it and to be over top of it. And I would seriously ask you to pull this ordinance or to vote it down. We do not need a for sale cannabis establishment in this town. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else on first call? Second call?
Emily Grasso, 13 Darrow Street. Mayor, council. I also oppose recreational marijuana in any town, actually. I just don't feel it's something we need. I mean, we have people driving under the influence of alcohol. I have never smoked marijuana, but and I don't know how much of it would impair driving, but Jim alluded to the fact that the police may have to get involved. I just think we have enough problems with people who are not driving, who are driving tired, who are driving distracted, who are on their phones, who have all kinds of other things that are impairing their driving, and I just don't think we need this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on first call? Yes, please.
86 Johnson Place, and I would be in support of this. It is a good source of income for the town. People are already passing through our town driving however they're driving. We're hoping that they're being responsible. Recreational, if used the right way, is no worse, stronger, weaker than alcohol. People have to use it responsibly. And by making it legal, you make it more responsible. Don't have to go to a legal source. I do support it.
Thank you.
Salvatore Cuccio, 104 Old Bridge Turnpike. I am for it. The fact that it will bring more money into this town than what we can do with. The area they are looking at will actually be a new building built past the Wawa, from my understanding. It will be away from schools. It will be away from anything like that. It will basically either drive in there, get it, and leave. If anybody understands how a medical marijuana facility works, you get your marijuana, you leave. You don't smoke it there, it doesn't happen. There's towns that said no, East Brunswick, Old Bridge, Sayreville. We would be taking advantage of money into this town that we desperately need to rebuild our roads, our infrastructure, and everything else. Police chief, has there been any major pullovers due to marijuana issues compared to drunk drivers? Okay, could we find that information for the next meeting? If we could, just curious, because I don't hear as many people getting pulled over and causing an accident when they're might have smoked something compared to somebody drinking 3 or 4 beers at that bar, getting into a car and risking other people's lives. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Richard Byrne, 11 Bissett Place. I have spoken in favor of this. This is a non-binding referendum, not the final approval of this proposal. And I can say, both with Emily, you can be so impaired on marijuana that I had a coworker killed last year in a car accident by a woman who literally could not stand. She was so high. I can appreciate that sentiment. And I also appreciate the sentiment that the fact that we did not approve it last year did not stop the illegal trade that is currently going on in this town. Some people get caught and other people don't. So I think the non-binding referendum is a good idea to get the sense of the people. So they vote yes on this ordinance tonight and see how it plays out. Thank you.
Okay. First call, second call, third call.
Close.
Motion closed by Mr. Gindi,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Seula. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it closed. Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Move the ordinance.
The ordinance has been moved by Mr. Gindi. Seconded by Mrs. Ballas. Discussion?
Yes. This is a referendum. We're giving the opportunity to the residents of South River to make a choice. That's what this is. This is what we're voting on. So we're bringing it to November's election and giving the opportunity to the residents. Once again, this is the residents that are going to speak out and say yes or no in November's election. This is what this is for. That's all I have to say.
I will echo that. It is non-binding upon the governing body. It is basically to take a poll. Are people interested or not interested in doing this? How it's going to be some 6 months from now, don't know. By then, we'll have more information as various towns have opened up marijuana shops, and we will see what's happening. But we will know in November. So if there's no other discussions, questions, roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
We have an ordinance, first reading of title only, 2023-19. Madam Clerk?
2023-19, ordinance of the Borough of South River, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending the Borough Code of the Borough of South River so as to amend Chapter 193 entitled Vehicles and Traffic.
I asked for this to be put on. This concerns parking on what they call Causeway Street. But to do something about those trucks there. It's time to act. We're not going to wait for the county.
Mayor, I move that the council pass ordinance 2023-19 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law, with the second reading and public hearing to be held at 7 p.m. on May the 1st, 2023, by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River, New Jersey.
Second that.
Motion has been made by Mr. Seula, seconded by Mr. Gertenski. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas? Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gertenski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
Okay, we shall revisit to this on May the 1st. We have various reports, as we traditionally do. We begin with Mr. Koch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. The 2020 and 2021 roads, the contractor is working on the punch list. The 2022 roads, the contractor is mobilized. I walked all the roads in the field with them. They're marking out and did test pits on many of the water services, and so far, very good copper on both sides. When they're done with all of them, I'll put together a list provided to Mr. Landensky, so the borough has a record of that and can include that in their report to the state. They're going to continue with sanitary sewer work, then the handicap ramps, and then the paving work. But they only started, I think I walked it Thursday and they started Friday, so there's some time yet before the paving occurs, but they are out there to do that. 2023 roads, we gave a proposal on that. The substation maintenance, the SCADA system is installed. Switch house number 1 is operational. Switch houses 2 and 3 should be operational in a week or so as far as the SCADA is concerned, and then the training will begin. Well, number 2 replacement, the contractor has a few punch list items, otherwise that will be done. The treatment plant upgrades, we have the contractor's been calling, trying to get a firm delivery date on the materials, but he thinks in a week or 2 he should have them and be able to start there. The sodium hypochlorite storage improvements, the bids are scheduled for the 21st of April. And the Veterans Drive Park and Fitzpatrick Park soil borings are complete. I contacted our environmental division today. They said there are some sand areas that may be helpful with some drainage management. They will be putting together a report and issuing it next week or so, and then I'll provide that to the borough.
Anything for Bruce?
I do, Bruce.
Yes.
The report will say what our next steps would be, or
They're
what
going
would
to
it
tell us
entail?
what they think the geotechnical options are, and then we'll have to figure out how we would like to utilize that, if we think it'll work or not. So it's
But the-
really 2 different things, because on Veterans Drive, we're really looking at it to see what are the groundwater elevations and how well would the soils drain if you were to go to a turf field. On the other one, it's how do we mitigate that groundwater that's trapped, I think, by a clay layer, but they'll be able to verify that. And is there anywhere on site where we could put a seepage pit that it could percolate into the ground and pipe laterals in that area to intercept that water and try and keep it below the surface? So they're different.
Okay.
But once I get the geotechnical stuff from them, I can take a look at it and look on the mapping and see where the borings were, and then make a decision.
Okay.
All righty?
And then I wasn't sure if you saw my email that I sent out early last week. A resident had reached out to me by one of the parks that there was no handicap
Handicap ramp.
ramps, and I thought if we could possibly add that to like either our curb and sidewalk program or one of our road programs.
Sure. I will revisit that, and I think probably next month we'll be authorized with a new road project, and we could roll it into that.
Okay,
Okay.
so that could be added.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, if it's the borough's will, I'd be happy to. Whatever you tell me to do, we'll do.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Joseph?
Yes, just one thing, Mayor. Second reading of bond ordinance that was already adopted, that was for the fire department air packs that we spoke about a couple months ago. And sewer improvements, $875,000, which includes the second and final tranche from the American Rescue Plan of $825,000. So that's what that ordinance relates to.
Okay. Anything for Mr. Zenga?
Has that money already been spent, or is it for sewer projects that are going to be done?
No, it's going to be spent. Nothing has been spent yet. It's adopted tonight, so 20 days from this Thursday is when we can legally spend it.
Okay.
I'll just add at this point, the fire chief was going to be here, but he got a call. There was a fire at the end of the causeway. And by the way, kudos to the fire department last night and to all those that came to assist on Thomas Street, middle of the night. They get up, they go, they fight a fire. House is wiped out, but everybody's okay. One thing he was going to mention, right now as we're speaking, there are fires all over Sayreville. A train went by and started the fires. Just a simple spark goes out. Everything is dry. We are not having any rain. The last rain we had was on April the 1st, and we had a little bit of spritzing at night, I think Wednesday into Thursday, but that's just a trace. And there's no rain now until at least Sunday or Monday. Be careful. Be careful out there. New York State has banned all outside fires because if the spark goes up, comes down on some leaves, grass, your lawn, it can start a fire. And that's what's happening. The trains going by are starting the brush fires. South River was called just before the Causeway fire. Sayreville asked for a truck because they've run out of trucks. Somebody's got to watch the rest of Sayreville while the Sayreville Fire Department is out fighting all these little brush fires. So be careful. Just be careful out there with those sparks, with your open fires, with your cigarettes or joints. Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. Soares.
Yes, Mayor. Starting next Monday, April 17th, the spring hydrant flushing starting. It goes till May 4th. The information can be found in the borough calendar, the website, and on our Facebook page. And we'll also be sending out nixles before each week.
That's a good
That's
idea.
all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Anything for age? No. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I just want to thank you for the proclamation for National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week. I know my dispatchers thoroughly enjoy this week, so thank you for doing that. Secondly, Resolution 147, which is the appointment of Adriana Kukla as dispatcher. She is replacing Mary Ann Kazi, who retired or is in process of retiring at the end of July.
Also, Resolution 148, which is the resolution declaring emergency repair for public safety building. I just want to thank Art Lindunsky, for handling this. This is probably the 21st or the 20th or 21st year of being in this building that was renovated. Things are starting to break, as you can see by the wall there, the rain damage from the roof, the new roof. Things are starting to break in this building, and I applaud Art for getting on this right away. So that's all I have.
Anyone for the chief? To our clerk?
Nope, nothing.
Okay. Legal side?
I have nothing tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Lundensky?
Thank you, Mayor. 143 is a resolution authorizing the appointment of the part-time assistant for special projects to the administrator. We had one applicant, Dawn McDonald. I interviewed her along with Joe, and she is our choice for the project. Next one, 144, is our annual public health services interlocal agreement with the county for health services. As the chief said, 148 for the emergency repair in the public safety building. We had to wait till the roof got fixed. Of course, when you have a leaking roof, you end up getting mold. The building was tested for air quality is good, but we have to clean up some of the mold. Now that the roof is fixed, we're authorizing that. And I believe that is it.
Anything else for Art?
I have a
One last thing, excuse me. One last thing I want to report that as of this morning, the battery storage project is back up and operating.
Okay, very good.
I have a question, Art. I see that we're still billing or paying Agra for the water operator. Are we?
We are out advertising in the League magazine for a water operator.
Okay, did we just?
We have gotten no responses yet.
Okay. And nobody in-house wants to do it?
No, no one has the licenses.
And then my other question was, I had a resident reach out to me regarding Division Street. There's been like a property on there that's had constant trucks out there blocking the sidewalk, blocking the street. I know they called the police department one day. This would be the same home that we discussed last year that we thought they were renovating, and they were without their proper permits. Has anybody reached out to you regarding this?
Not to me. I can't answer for Mr. Droppa. I'll ask him in the morning.
Okay.
Do you know the address?
Yes.
Okay.
The other thing I should report, the older park equipment in Daly's Pond was damaged by vandals. Made a police report. Was damaged so much we had to remove it. We will be putting up adult swings in that area as soon as we can get them. It was dangerous. The plastic was broken. There were holes in it. Unfortunately, and we do have a full park across the way, brand new. So it was time to remove that. Unfortunately, some people don't appreciate what we do in the parks and damage them. So, thank you.
Okay. You might as well continue your comments.
My reports, just a reminder that the community garden this week, the end of this week, April 15th, will have their orientation, and come pick your plot if you'd like. That's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on April 15th. This week also at the library, the Friends of the Library will have their book sale. It's spring break for the kids, so they're all home, which makes it a good opportunity to take your kids to the library and buy some books. I would also like to mention that the Environmental Commission is doing their Green Fair on April 22nd, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that is at the 7 Acres Park down Cam Avenue. If anybody can attend, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Come out. We've had people help us out to show how to recycle. The county helped us with some composting bins, so we'll be showing how to do that. There's going to be a lot of educational things, crafts for the kids, and just a good time to come out and enjoy Earth Day. That's all I have so far.
What time does that begin?
11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, that's what I got. All right, then. Mr. Gurczynski?
Thank you, Mayor. The Office on Aging has their thrift store open this Friday. Unfortunately, it isn't open on Saturday, but on Friday, and they're looking for any donations that you could possibly give. There are certain things that they do take and certain things that they do not. So please be aware of it. They take small furniture and appliances, some textiles, tools, giftware, office supplies, costume jewelry, ceramics, records, toys, video games. Pickup is available. Next Saturday is at the Human Services, Friday on the 14th, 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Proceeds benefit the Senior Trust and the South River Pet Program. Also, the armchair travel is going to be on April 20th. I believe it's Mexico this time. Cost is $3 per member, and it's an enjoyable event to be able to sit there and, take in some of the some of the history and sights, yes. Sorry. The monthly mingle will be at the end of the month. That is on the 28th, which is a Friday, and it's $5 prepaid. And also next month, they will have paper shredding, so it's something for you folks to get your stuff together. Usually it's down at the DPW yard. That's going to be on May 20th, I believe, and that's a county affair. With that, that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Ballas?
Just a couple of things. The Memorial Day Parade is underway. All the plans are being made. We do have a grand marshal. You'll have to be surprised. But they're still looking for any groups in South River that want to march in the parade, and anybody that knows of a band. They're having a very hard time finding bands to march. A lot of them want a lot of money. So anybody that knows of anybody, they can get in touch with me through the offices, or they can get in touch with Teresa Hutchison, the chair, at 848-448-0423. And I also got today, there's still time for the Richard Myers Memorial South River History High School essay. Any senior graduating from high school this year, it doesn't matter what high school you go to, they're still looking for people to apply. They're being judged by the members of the South River Historical Society. So if there's any questions they want, you can contact them at southriverhistory@gmail.com. So you have until the 15th to get that in. First prize is $500, second place is $350, and third place is $150. So any seniors, doesn't matter what high school you go to, take the opportunity and tell a story about our town. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gundy.
Thank you. Municipal Alliance is going to have their meeting this coming Thursday at 6 o'clock right here at the conference room. Anybody likes to attend, please do so. We are going to be talking about different activities such as the car show. On behalf of Jason, which he happens to actually be in the building right now doing a New Jersey Recreational and Parks Association on safety for the borough sports, he had me announce quite a few things. If you are enrolled in volleyball classes, they will resume Tuesday, April 18th. The first week back from 5th to 8th grade class will be on Tuesday, April 18th. High school and adult volleyball will be on Wednesday, April 19th. Youth agility will also be closed during spring break and will resume Tuesday, April 18th. Tennis classes will start the week of April 18th. The only thing you need to bring with you is a tennis racket and water. The classes will take place at the high school tennis course. There are still some spots left for you to open up or sign up. T-ball is still set for the start of April 24th. Please be on the lookout for an email next week with team rosters. Registration is still open. Registration is now open for basketball fundamentals, 2nd and 8th graders. Once you are registered, any basketball fundamentals classes, that will have from April to October 2023 are included in that price. South River Recreational Cheerleading Competition Team signups are now open for 23 and 24 season. We are offering a wide range of teams to fit your schedule. We want more information. Please come out and come to one of our information sessions to find out more. It is a monthly class fee which starts the month practice starts. And the last is Terry and Jessica did a remarkable job this past weekend with the Easter egg hunt. It was a great success. Several activities. Kids were all over. Kudos to the Parks and Rec, Terry and Jessica. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ciulo?
Thank you. Just real quick, the EDC will be meeting on the 19th, 7 p.m. at the VFW. Anyone wishing to attend to bring up anything with the businesses and Main Street, please come forward. And again, I'd just like to extend, I was out of the country, but Kim Bell, our senior advisor, send my condolences to her for the passing of her dad. That's all I have.
Okay. A few thoughts about the budget. During Ray Eppinger's administration, the meetings here began a half hour early so that people come up and talk about the budget. No one came. If you have any questions about the budget, you can come up during the public comment section or at this meeting, or ask questions or contact the CFO, and your questions will be answered. The budget is made up of several parts. For example, the electric utility has a budget. Revenues were nearly $18 million last year. Two of the biggest expenditures were for purchasing power at a little over $6 million, and a current fund of $3,100,000. That current fund means that $3,100,000 is moved over from the electric utility to the current fund budget. That's what helps keep our real estate taxes lower than what they could be if it wasn't done. We have not had an electric rate increase since 2016, and we anticipate no increases in the near future. Over the years, I have pushed to have less reliance on the electric utility. The budget moves $50,000 less every year. Now, as Councilman Ryan Jones pointed out, it's going to take forever to get to zero. Well, not quite. I calculated it out. It's going to take 62 years to do it. But it took a lot of years for us to have those golden handcuffs on us, and it's going to take a lot of years to reverse that practice. The rest of the money in the budget, the infrastructure of the electric utility is very good. During the recent storms, we had no power failures, which doesn't mean that you, as an individual, may not suffer a power failure. That's because, accidents happen, storms, transformers blow out. That can be a localized power failure. The battery project, as you heard, is working well. The batteries were installed so that when it gets very hot and everyone is running their air conditioners, instead of going out into the market and buying electricity at a high cost, we tap into the batteries and save money because we don't have to buy the electricity in the market. That's what they do. They do not turn on when there's a town-wide power failure. They are used only when it is hot to reduce the transmission and capacity charges. So, some thoughts on the electric utility budget. Next time I'll talk a little bit about some other budget. One other thing, shutoffs. I mentioned it at the last meeting, and now sometime this week or next week, it's going to happen. There are a lot of people out there that have not paid their electric bills fully or at all for what seems to be a few years. They were all sent letters. They were all told, you got a problem, come in, talk to the town, we'll do something about it, we'll work with you. Not many people, from what I understand, have come in, but I'm sure they will, because your electricity is going to be shut off. And if it's 80 degrees out there like they're promising this week, that's going to be very uncomfortable. But you have been forewarned. It's not fair that the rest of us pay our electric bills and some people just don't bother. So you've been forewarned. All right. We open it up to public comments. Now, part of our agenda, please come forward. You'll have 10 minutes. Please give your name and address.
Hi, Lisa Byrne, 11 Bissett Place. I'm here as a Board of Ed member. There's just some stuff going on with the schools I want everybody to know about. Our curriculum fair is Thursday, May 25th from 5 to 7. All this you can find on the board website. Ram Runway is doing a community open house. If you want to come, bring a bag. The runway is used clothing, low price. Adopt a Family Club is doing a fundraiser with t-shirts. They're like 10 or 15 bucks depending on the size. They use the money at the end of the year to help families in need celebrate Christmas, what they can't otherwise do. The Wall of Fame, you have until May 31st. If you know of any candidates, also if you know of anybody that would like to be on the committee, we are looking for community members. Project Graduation is doing next week from the 17th to the 20th, a fundraiser at Camillo's in Sayreville. There's a flyer that you can print out on the website. And that's it. Thank you.
Is that lunch and supper?
Yes. You just have to bring the flyer during their hours. Or show it on your phone. It's on the Facebook page as well.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else on first call? Okay. That's okay. We're here for the duration. Come on up, Richard.
Bissett Place. First, as your Environmental Commission Chair, our plans are moving along with the Earth Day. Hopefully, we'll have a good turnout from the community. A lot of interesting things for the residents to do. I'd like to talk on my own behalf about Ordinance 2023-19, the no parking on Causeway. Most people don't realize that Causeway is actually County Road 675, or a part of it. And it's my intention to go to the commissioner meeting when they take up this resolution and speak in support of it. I also have a couple of other issues around town that I'd like to raise that fall under their purview as well. So I support the fixing of the issue on I guess that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
I get to bother them like I bother you.
That's okay. Hey, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Jones, Cam Avenue. Mayor, I'd like to ask you, has there been any increased meetings with the public safety in regards to rampant speeding in this town? I've noticed we've had another fatality 2 blocks from my house again on Cam Avenue at the intersection of Robert Street.
I don't believe that was because of speeding.
No.
But I will defer to Mr. Gurczynski as public safety meetings.
We had a meeting scheduled today. Unfortunately, there was the fire call and a few other things too, and we had discussed it. DPW is putting out more signage as far as the 4-way stops go. Enforcement, our police department, please, if you see somebody around speeding or something like that, I request that all of the residents, if you have an incident in your neighborhood, please call the police department. They'll send a cruiser up and they'll try to put a stop to it as best as they possibly can. I know it's difficult, it really is.
I agree with you that the old saying is, when you need a cop, you can't find one.
Exactly.
I agree with that. And rightfully so, they're out probably doing more important things than just sitting in front of my house or on one of the side streets. But Councilman, the speeding on Cam Avenue, since that 4-way stop at Foothills and Cam to Whitehead Avenue is a drag strip, sir. They need, I don't know if you can possibly rustle up some money, talk to the chief and see if there could be a task force, maybe bring in a couple extra cops early in the morning. they just blow through that four-way stop to begin with, and then the speed limit there in the morning, because everybody's going to work, taking kids to school, dangerously speeding, and just running up and down that street, very bad. And if you could possibly, I noticed that there, Lieutenant York is now, I believe, promoted, and he's in the Detective Bureau, and there's a new traffic and safety contingent now. If you could possibly, what we need on Cam Avenue, Councilman, is another three-way stop down maybe in Shack Avenue, or
Robert?
Because Jim, my house is open to you. Someday just come up there and we'll just sit out in the chair in the driveway and you can physically observe it yourself that, Jim, they just fly up and down that street, and they don't, there's a little bit of a gray area with police with about rolling through a right on red, but Jim, they're just, most of them are stopping, but it's the other ones that I worry about that are flying through there that don't, give you a know what, and they're gonna T-bone somebody, run over a kid, and the kids are gonna be out of school in another month or so. And Chief, I'd offer you too, I'd like to switch it up a little bit, Chief.
Well,
instead of having a coffee with a cop, I'd like to have a cop come have a coffee at my residence, maybe in civilian clothes, and just observe, Chief, just what's going on down there. I know you got a lot of things to do, but it's still very bad there on Cam Avenue.
Well, why don't you talk to him after the meeting specifically about something that could be done? Because he's talking about, apparently, if they slow down or stop at Foothills Drive and then they gun it, zoom, to get to Whitehead Avenue because they've lost all of 3 seconds to stop. So that's a problem, especially, I guess, early in the morning when they figure nobody's around. So you two will talk afterwards, but thank you for coming forward with that.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
and if we do, we'll have to put one at three-way stop at Robert Street.
Possibly a speed camera.
Speed cameras too, yes. Okay, now Emily.
Emily Grasso, 13 Darrow Street. Okay. Mayor and council members, I am here tonight to talk about these. I walk all over South River. That's one of the reasons I love this town, is because it's so walkable. I see so many of these. Okay, so I would like to show you the life cycle of an unwanted bag of ads. Starts out like this, right? Not too bad. Like when it lands, it looks like this. It's nice and soft and cuddly, and you can pick it up, right? Then it rains. Starts to get kind of dirty and yucky.
And traffic.
After another week or so, it just turns into a smudge on the road. And the last cycle, it just turns into, I don't know what that is, like a paste.
Why don't you just show it over there,
Oh.
so that they can look at it at the camera,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's just.
So, one more time. So when it first lands, not too bad, looks like that. Then when it rains, leaves get on it, it gets washed down the road, it looks like this. Then it gets run over several times. And then it just turns into paste. And so my point is, there's the problem with these is you're not really sure whose they are, because they land like between a driveway. You might not want them, but nobody's sure who should be picking it up. So what I'm requesting the public to do, so the streets don't look so trashy, is if you see this near your house, pick it up. If you want it, great. Most people don't, I think. So if you see it kind of by your driveway, pick it up when it looks like this. When it looks like this, when it's not like that. So if you pick it up, just throw it out. So another strategy would be, there is a tiny little phone number on here, on the bottom of the bag. You can call this number, and what they say is, if you're missing any circular, call this number. Most people aren't going to miss them, I think. So you can call the number and just say, I don't want these delivered by my house, or give them your address, and one of the members of the Environmental Commission did call them, and they said, yes, we'll stop delivering, and they did. So that is a strategy we could do too. But there are so many of these I see, and when the weather gets nicer, I'm just going to start picking up the ones that really, that nobody else was going to be picking up. But it's better if you get them while they're looking like that. Otherwise, your neighborhood is going to look
Like this.
This is not far from my house. Your neighborhood's going to look trashy. All the red circles are around the ads that are just kind of laying all over the sidewalk. So do South River a favor and pick them up while they're still pick-upable so that our neighborhoods look better. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for speaking about a bugaboo of mine. Years ago, when I was a councilman, the thought was, we're going to stop it throughout the town. And somebody roared, don't you dare stop my Pathmark ads from coming to see me. That's circular. ShopRite, Aldi, all of them. And so we can't stop them. But it's always been the thing that sticks in my craw, and this is throughout the town, is that people don't care about what the town looks like. I have neighbors who it'll drop and it will sit there until garbage day. Now, they usually come on Wednesday or Thursday, and so it will sit there all weekend getting nice and wet and moist and messy, and they will not pick it up. And then people complain about, why does the town look trashy? You have to get over there and pick it up. And if you do it, others will do it because they don't want their place to look like a mess. And it's no excuse. I don't own it. I'm only renting. Tough. Take pride in your town. I mean, some people, they got beautiful lawns, but there'll be something dirty out in the street and they won't do anything about it. It's like, come on, people. So thank you.
Actually,
Thank you for being
where I
out.
see the most of these, there's no other trash. There's no McDonald's bags. There's no other kind of trash except these.
Mhm.
Picked up 7 of them at the Russian church. We did a cleanup with the church
Mhm.
at the field, and there were 7 of those in various states of decay
Mhm.
inside the fence, blown in there.
Yeah.
They do trash.
The other thing, though, is don't throw it on top of your recycling.
Recycling day.
Because they won't take it. But they'll take your garbage and your recycling in a clear bag, which still bothers the living daylights out of me. They're not supposed to do it. They take it every 2 weeks. But if you put one of them on top, they won't take any of it. Happens all the time.
I think it's just that they don't know who they belong to because they just throw them out of it. And I understand people making a living out and they land wherever.
Wherever.
Well,
What?
is that theirs or is that mine or is that?
It's supposed to, I think, be on the driveway. That's how it's supposed to
Usually
be.
it's in my driveway.
And by what time they throw it out, it's either before or after, and who does it belong to? So, excellent. Anyone else? First call, second call, third call?
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Mrs. Ballas, seconded by Mr. Gindi. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Moving on to, there are no mayoral appointments, so we come to consent resolutions. Madam Clerk?
Whereas Resolution 2023-01 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize a consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Now therefore be it and is hereby resolved that the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. Consent Resolutions 2023-142 to 2023-154. 142, authorizing the appointment of a bus driver for the Board of Health. 143, resolution authorizing the appointment of a part-time assistant for special projects. 144, authorized 2023 Public Health Services Interlocal Agreement. 145, authorizing the renewal of a liquor license for Robar LLC for 2022-2023 license year. 146, authorize certain utility refunds. 147, authorizing the appointment of Adriana Kukla to dispatcher. 148, resolution declaring emergency repair to the public safety building. 149, resolution authorizing Asplund Engineering Services to provide an electric utility system review report. 150, accept March 20th, 2023 regular and executive session minutes. 151, authorize the bills and claims list. 152, authorize permanent status for a Department of Public Works Laborer A. 153, appointment of Kevin Martins as laborer A for the sanitation department. And 154, resolution authorizing an agreement with United Services Workers Union, IUJAT, Local 255.
Your pleasure on the resolutions.
Move the consent resolutions.
Second.
Resolutions have been moved by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. Roll call.
Councilwoman Ballas?
Yes.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes, with abstention to 145, and then 151, the bills, 23-00476, 00581, 00947, and 00108.
Councilman Krasinski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes, with the abstention of 150 and 151, 22-02869, 03009, and 23-00108.
The resolutions have been approved. There's nothing going to be read separately. Therefore, we will come for the good and welfare of the borough. Our governing body comments will begin this time with Mr. Gindi.
Thank you. On April 1st, I had the opportunity to help open a new business, which was called Better Life Pharmacy, which is located right here on 54 Main Street. They had their ribbon cutting that day. That is considered the old Dushocks. So the person that came into it happens to own maybe 5 or 6 pharmacies throughout the state of Jersey. And he feels confident that South River is going to be the place to have another one. Easter egg hunt, once again, they did a phenomenal job over the weekend. Jessica and Terry, kudos to you. And as you heard from the Department of Public Works, Adriano, hydrants flushing is starting April 17th to May 7th, which means there's a possibility you're going to have a tint to your water. But do not be alarmed. They're rattling the pipes. So they're clearing it out. If you have any questions, feel free to call them, but I'm forewarning you, this is what's happening between these dates, April 17th and May 7th. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Ballas.
I should have asked Age this before. The dumpsters at the school, the one that's by me, we pick up their garbage. Just so, we got a complaint in the Board of Health about the dumpsters having holes in the bottom, and all the garbage is just flying around. So I don't know if you notice if they changed them or not. You might keep an eye on them next time. I should have said that before. All I have to say, enjoy the weather, watch the kids. They are out in full force this week, on their scooters, on their bikes. Dogs, another thing, please leash your dogs. I've seen a lot of people walk in town, dogs unleashed. That is an ordinance, is it not, that they must be leashed? Art, right?
Yeah.
So just keep an eye out. And that's pretty much all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Krasinski.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank our police, fire, and DPW for the work that they do, also with Robert Wood. And just like has been stated before, too, with the flyers that go around. Same thing on Recycling Day. A lot of times, these guys are spread pretty thin, and if it's a little bit windy, there's a few plastic bottles floating around the curbs. Please, let's just pick them up and get rid of them. It's, it's one thing after another. With that, I extend my condolences to Belle and for the loss of her dad and everything. And watch for children. It's getting warmer. Let's enjoy the weather. Be careful of the fires. The guys are out there now. And with that, that's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mara.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Like everybody said, spring break for the kids started on Friday, and it will be until April 17th. They got an extra day on Monday due to the unused snow days, so they will be out there. And just for everybody to be aware, if you are in the school area, the stadium is closed off until further notice, I believe. And the elementary and middle school are having outside construction done, so and the high school as well. So just be aware of that. I know no kid will be wanting to go anywhere near the school from now until spring break being over, but just be aware that there are some machines and stuff over there. I know some of the kids are still playing sports and going over to the school area. The curriculum fair, like Lisa had mentioned, is May 25th from 5 to 7. And one of the things that I'm most excited about to go see is the Star Lab. The school district was able to get a Star Lab down there for the students to be able to use. It will be presented and shown at the middle school gym. So that's something exciting to see. If you're not going to go to see the curriculum fair, you could always go down to the middle school and see their Star Lab. This week, the rec cheerleaders are practicing at the parks because it's so beautiful this week. So if you see a bunch of girls hanging out at Volunteers Park, just know that they're working away. Their last cheerleading competition for this season will be on April 22nd at Hershey Park. Like to wish them luck. As Councilman Gindi mentioned, if you want to see the information for rec competition team, they have it on the website, and they're also looking for more coaches. So if anybody's interested in helping coaching out, it should be fun. They will be starting up again in July. That's all I have. I hope everybody has a good spring break.
Thank you. Mr. Ciola?
Thank you.
I'm tired, so.
Just to reiterate on the Easter egg hunt, my granddaughters did participate again this year, and the amount of goodies that the kids got in their Easter baskets was phenomenal. Unbelievable job. So, again, thank you to Terry and Jessica for a great job that they did. A lot of parents were talking about it, and just want to congratulate them on a great job. And again, like everybody said, the kids are home this week. Please be careful. Watch your speed. They are on scooters. They're darting out in front of you. So again, please be careful and watch your speed and watch out for the kids. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Ciola was out fighting the fire on Thomas Street, so he didn't get home until 6:30 in the morning. So that's why he's tired. So I'm not going to sit here and babble. Just to keep saying, as I've always have, South River is a happening place. Back on April 1st, the Russian Orthodox had their Easter Bazaar. Excellent food, tricky tray, open to everybody. By all means, please come out. Easter egg hunt was a blast, very well organized, worked out nicely. Lots of people coming there. If you weren't there, why not? And then just a warning also, with the end of Ramadan, they're going to have a number of there are going to be festivities, the big dinner, all of that. So just be aware of as the days are coming to, as the day comes to an end, there's a big festivity there. And so that watch around Thomas Street, traffic there, of course, with all the kiddies, just in general. And a blessed and happy Easter, Passover, Ramadan. All three of the major religions, they don't usually come together like they have this year, but they are. So blessed and happy to all of you. Is there anything else to come before us?
I have a quick question, Mayor, because I forgot to mention. I know that the flag raisings will be starting up again. I know there was discussion on joining two commissions into one. What's the status of that?
I've not heard anything of that. I'll talk to Sandra Adelino about that to see what her thoughts are, whether to keep the Human Relations Commission separate or to join the Cultural Arts. So, okay, very good. Thank you.
Motion to close.
Second.
Motion to close by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mrs. Ballas. All in favor? Aye. All against? The ayes have it. We'll see you on May 1st.